Hello, hobby friends, and welcome to today's episode of Hobby Talk. My name is David Baez, and in today's episode, we are going to talk to one of our favorite card and unopened sellers about the world of non-sports cards. Please join me in welcoming Kurt Christensen back to Hobby Talk. What's going on, Kurt?
Hey, David. As always, it's fun to be here, and I love non-sports, and there's likely going to be some Batman references and maybe some Elf references. We'll have to see.
Oh, hey, listen, man, you're getting some stiff competition. The last few people I talked about are telling me about these massive hordes of Alf in the West Coast.
Keep it on lock and key.
Awesome, man. So why don't we start things off, Kurt, with a little 101 on the history of non-sports packs. What can you share with us? How far did they date back, and how it's evolved current day?
Yeah, it was a great question. I'm not going to be an expert per se on, card collecting on non-sports as much as the unopened. But what I do know is you can find unopened cards as far back as tobacco era products.
Right.
Just like, I'm not sure if it was the T206 releases, but, just like the tobacco era cards were found in, tobacco patches or pouches, there were non-sport issues in the same thing. Some of them were flags. There was a flag issue. I think there was like some animal issues, but, they were found in tobacco pouches.
Yeah. Even like political figures and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
So, it goes back a ways. So that, basically as long as there's been cards, there's been non-sports. And I kind of jotted down a brief list here, and, they're definitely much more rarer than and less produced than, the sport counterparts. But, you can track it all the way up through the years. For example, we all know that, Gaudi, had 34 Gaudi cards. Well, there's a pretty popular Worldwide Gum 33 Sea Raiders set. Pictures of some pirates, stuff like that. There's also,
wow. I didn't know
that. There's also an Indian issue there. So, Gaudi Worldwide Gum, in the same time frame, we're making non-sport cards. Horrors of War, 1938. I'm sure you've heard of that one.
That one, yes.
Yep. So that's a very popular one. And speaking on the unopened front, a couple years ago, there was a find of a partial box of 1938 Horrors of War wax packs.
Wow.
So talk about old unopened. That is, to my knowledge, the oldest find per se of maybe more than a pack or two. I think, there were several packs found of 38 Horrors of War. So that's pretty cool as far, that, you'd start talking packs pre-World War II, that's very tough.
Oh, yeah.
So, you still had them then, you get post-World War II when you get into the 50s Bowmans. Well, there were Bowman Jets. There were Power and Peace cards, TV movie stars. I brought a few packs from my collection just for guys.
Yeah.
So here's a 53 Bowman movie stars pack, TV and movie stars.
How cool is that?
So, all the way, you're going to see these correspond right when, the major sports cards, we're releasing.
Yeah.
Just not in as much quantity. Trickle to, we think of 52 Topps baseball. There was also 52 Topps Look and See cards.
Right. Yes.
Yep, I remember those. So again, we're corresponding. 50s, you really start to see some more issues. 56 was a great year for non-sport. There were a Western issue, Davy Crockett. We've seen Heritage sell some Davy Crockett cello boxes the last few years. There was an Elvis set in 56.
Oh, wow.
That's a very popular set.
Yeah.
You can keep moving. 57 had a Robin Hood set. There was a Space set in 57. 58 had a Zorro set. I got a couple other to show off here. Some oddball. Here's 60 Topps. Here's 61 Topps. It's called Crazy Cards. It's actually a PSA 10 cello pack from 61 Topps.
That is a first. I have never seen that.
Yep, and this is an oddball deal. It's not very popular, but goes to show some of the the oddball stuff. Here's you may have seen this one, 61 Fleer Pirates Bold.
Yes, I've seen that. I love the artwork, by the way. That is amazing.
And that's going to be a staple of non-sport issues is the artwork. Most people gravitate towards that. And we're going to move into an issue here that I would call maybe one of the most sought after and popular ones. And I know you'll know this is 1962 Mars Attacks.
Oh, yeah.
So that one resonates way back when. Now, very tough, very scarcely produced, highly sought after by collectors.
Yeah.
That's an incredibly popular release. 63, there was an astronaut set that is really fun. 64, we started seeing some few more producers get in the game. 64 had a Donruss Addams Family set. Donruss is in there, and then the Beatles. I got a couple here, I believe. Here's a 64 Beatles movie cello.
Wow, how cool is that?
And there's also a Beatles dairy cello.
Very nice.
So there were several Beatles, and you can think, Beatles ruled the land in the 60s. So
yeah,
makes sense that Topps was making Beatles. Then, of course, we're going to get to 65 Gilligan's Island.
Yes, I've seen those.
That's a pack I would love to add to my collection that I do not have. And then James Bond. We everybody likes James Bond.
Oh, yeah.
Philadelphia made Bond issue. Here's a 65 James Bond cello pack. And 66 Philadelphia did it again. This is a wax pack from 66.
Wow, I love that wrapper. That is cool.
Yeah, the graphics and the illustrations are phenomenal.
They just look like little mini movie posters, right?
They do. And that's why I like them. I like the graphics, and it brings you to pop culture that you may like. That moves me into my personal favorite, and one of the personal favorites from I think a lot of non-sport collectors is 1966 Batman. Oh yeah. I find it ironic for us how popular Batman has been through the years. Between 1966 and 1989, that's the only Batman issue there was. Really? So, those sets, there were several different sets. There was Riddler bats, black bats, red bats, blue bats, but there was a big gap in those issues. Here's a few cellos. There's a black bat, red bat, and a Riddler back on here as well. Those are just awesome. So, we continue the track. These correspond with, cards of the day. You can keep going on. Another very popular one, the wacky packages. Yes. Those are commanding some insane premiums, especially of late. Yes. The early, I think 1967 may have been first series there. Yeah. And there's a box right now up for auction of, I think, a first series wacky packages. Oh, yeah. I don't know anything about value, but I've been told it's going to be well over $50,000. Yeah. No, that thing's going to command like serious money. It's going to be record breaking money, but that's, I don't know much about it, but I've just read into forums through the years. I mean, how insanely rare too that those boxes and packs are. Yeah, and again, highly sought after. Some of the things with non-sport collectors, myself included, you almost call them, die-hard collectors, but by their issue, they just live and die by, the set that they like. Moving into the 70s, 71 Brady Bunch. Yeah. It's a very tough set. That's another pack I would love to own. But I've never had the chance. We get into a few more popular ones here. 76 Star Trek, a great Star Trek set. There's a 76 Star Trek box. Very popular. Very nice. You're starting to get into some, issues now that, are a little more available. Of course, we won't hammer the nail on the head a ton here, but it all to me starts and ends with Star Wars. And 1977, we saw Star Wars get released. Yeah. When you talk about scarcity of product, and I'm taking my baseball hat off, so to speak, and just looking at non-sports. If you want to talk about purely from the scarcity side of things, correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably know a lot more about this than I do. Non-sports is where it's at when it comes to scarcity. I mean, some of this stuff is insanely like true one-of-ones that are out there when you find them. You are absolutely right. And that's part of the reason I like some non-sports. I'll give you an example, like the 65 James Bond cellos. Now, it's been a little bit since I've checked the pop, but I couldn't have changed that much. You know, I think there were under 10 cello packs graded.
Yeah,
And
I'm not surprised.
I mean, we're talking James Bond. It's not like we're talking, you know, the crazy cards are a different deal. You know, that's kind of a niche thing. But you're talking James Bond and, you know, very little product availability.
Yeah.
And you can go right down the list of wacky packages, you know, the early ones. Very little product availability. Gilligan's Island, extremely tough. Brady Bunch, extremely tough. You know, it just keeps repeating itself. You're right. You know, to add some of that to a collection is very difficult.
Yeah. I remember talking to a previous interview too about like some of these like even cartoon based, like I think it was Scooby-Doo, right? Those are like ultra rare.
There's a 1971 set that's got some Scooby-Doo stuff in it. I think his picture's on the box. I've eyed that one too, but haven't, you know, been in a chance to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah. It's amazing. And again, one of the things that I like, again, I don't really collect that much. I have a couple Marvel and couple stuff like that, but again, not easy to come by. I mean, I've seen some stuff even on you know, on the groups or on eBay, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, that doesn't come up every day, number one, and number two, it's commanding, especially like everything hobby related this year, a serious premium. That's some pretty pricey stuff.
Yeah, non-sport has really exploded in price, just like you said, like a lot of things. And, you know, if we want to touch briefly on, you know, move to the 80s, you know, we really start to see an explosion of, you know, various products being made throughout the 80s. And, you know, the list is endless, but, you know, Dukes of Hazzard, Superman, Rambo, Magnum PI, Knight Rider, Dune, E.T., Masters of the Universe, Indiana Jones, Turtles, Pac-Man, G.I. Joe. You know, the list is endless. I just brought one box with me. There's an 82 Pac-Man box. I actually had a sealed case of this, non-X out, but there's a Super Pac-Man FASD wax.
How cool is that? That's the first time I've ever seen one of those, Kurt.
Yeah, but you know, the 80s list is just endless. And you know, you really start you know, we were mass producing cards at that point anyway, so why not, you know, have a set for everything? You know, there's growing pains and there's, you know, anything and everything is in. There's Elf, you know, it's all of the above. But you know, you really started to see, you know, the popularity of people realizing that I think at that point there was a market for some of this stuff more than just the, you know, little bit produced, because there was a lot of that stuff produced.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. So let me ask you this, Kurt. Did you collect, you know, growing up, non-sports cards? You know, what were you gravitating to, if you were?
Yeah, I did. Probably not as much as I was a baseball card collector, but there were a couple issues that definitely I collected, and I remember vividly to this day. One of them was 1992 Stadium Club Batman Returns.
Yes.
I was a little bit young for the 89 Batman movie, but with prime time for Batman Returns. I remember shredding, you know, all kinds of those Stadium Club Batman Returns.
I might still have a few, you know, sitting in a box somewhere, because I bought a couple packs back in the day.
So, you know, they're not worth anything, but it was fun. And then, you know, for me, that went. I think Batman Forever was out a few years later, and I remember opening Batman Forever packs.
That's cool.
As I got a little older, when they did the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, I remember buying 99 Phantom Menace Star Wars cards. And just how thrilled I was buying that, because I was a Star Wars nut. When the movies were released, you know, the 70s movies, you know, that was before my time. So, you know, I would have seen them on VHS or whatever. But when the prequel trilogies came out and I was prime time card time for me, it was like, you know, I could not wait to get some Phantom Menace trading cards.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's talk a little bit about ripping vintage packs, non-sports inventory. Tell us a little bit about what you have, you know, and, you know, what can we currently find on your site?
So the website's going to have some on there. One thing that I take pride in, and guys who have seen our setup at the National know this, is we really take pride in having a great non-sport box selection at the National. I would say every year we've done it, it's been our best seller. You can always count on people coming and buying basically, late 70s, 80s, 90s non-sport. I can't really say why. I haven't had a ton of luck selling them on the website or selling them privately. But when people come to the National in person, I mean, they fly off the shelves. I mean, people just gravitate toward them. So there is some on the website. This Pac-Man is on there. I have some sealed cases coming in of some 80s. There will be some new RVP FASC.
Cool.
That will hit the website. Magnum PI, Knight Rider, and Dune. I have cases incoming that you'll find.
Very cool.
FASC on the website, hopefully assuming that they pass inspection. But as far as the rest of the non-sport, it's I like to hold it back. I will say there's a substantial inventory here of 80, just like everything I just said, Superman, Rambo, Dukes of Hazzard, all that stuff. But I like to hold a lot of that stuff back for the National. It's just something that it seems, we do real well with, and people now have known me at that show several times. I think they come looking.
Yeah. Well, now I'm even more motivated to go to the National.
You want to know something real quick? Another non-sport release. I can't make this up, but there's a 1980, I think it's 83. The set is called Porcelain Cats.
No.
A picture on the boxes of a porcelain cat, figurine, statue, or something.
Wait. So there's a card of a picture of a porcelain cat, and there's a whole set of them.
Yeah, apparently. I haven't opened the packs to confirm it, but that's what the box suggests. And you'd think it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I show up to the National every year with 4, 5, or 6 of these porcelain cats boxes, and I've never come home with any of them. They all.
The porcelain cat. Your top 5. 52 tops. Nope. No, porcelain cats.
Porcelain cats. It's a no-brainer. It will sell.
Narrowly edged out Alf.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. So I think you might have answered my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What has been the most popular product customers are looking for? Because you answered the one for the National, but specific on the site. And let's call it maybe the last year or so. What's been the most popular non-sports items?
Popular, yeah. I got a couple there. First would be I came across some sealed cases of 89 Topps Batman Series 1 and Series 2, and I RVP FASC those boxes, and I sell them as a combo. You get a FASC Series 1 and Series 2. Those are incredibly popular.
Cool.
And makes sense as it's Batman. Couple of the other issues that I have a lot of that I put on there and I sell is 1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Series 1. That's the first edition Ninja Turtles card set, so that's very popular. And then I would say probably Rambo and Knight Rider are also very popular.
Rambo. All right. Now, is there different series of Rambo?
There are some. I think the one I have is Rambo First Blood. I think that's 1985.
Yeah, that's the first one. Yeah.
So there are. I think there are some other ones, but those ones I would say are real steady sellers, with FASC Batman leading the way.
Very cool. All right.
Sorry. I would say part of that FASC thing, which I would like to mention, a lot of this non-sports stuff is final sale product. They didn't sell a lot, so they got sent back to Topps with the little black line across the box. So to find a true sealed case, people aren't paying the FASC premium for or thinking their packs are searched. They're paying it because it's likely. It's the fresh looking box. It doesn't have the X out through it, and it's not beat up. So the art and the box condition is exceptional. And that's, these Batman boxes I have are just, exceptional condition. And I think it's not necessarily that they're rare, but, I think the condition of them and the fact that they're not final sale, leads people to want them.
Yeah, and to your point though too, it's just that knowing, right, that they're just haven't been manipulated or touched in any way, and so that's just like that's what all the fast premium's all about. Good point. The one you just put up earlier, that Super Pac-Man box. I mean, that's a beautiful box. I mean, that looks like they just produced that this week. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
it's gorgeous. You know, there's obviously you can see there's not an X out, but you know the corners are nice. The color doesn't have any wear or discolor on it. It's just this phenomenal condition. And I think you're not getting the FASC premium because somebody thinks there's no Super Pac-Man card in the box. It's
right.
that the condition of the box is exceptional.
Yeah, agreed. So let me ask you this. Again, I'm not so well versed in the world of non-sports, so I truly don't know the answer to this. So I'm curious. What do you consider to be the Honus Wagner, if you will, of non-sports, and why?
That's wow. That's a good question. It obviously can't be Elf.
Outside of Elf.
Outside of Elf. I'm going to lean towards some non-sport big collectors of mine who have all kind of told me this. I have a little different opinion. I would think like one of those 33 Gaudis or something would be really rare, but
Yeah.
I think the correct answer would be a 62 Mars Attacks unopened pack.
Really?
To my knowledge, which I don't have know all knowledge. There's rumors of a pack out there, but nobody's ever seen. Is it real? Is it it's not authenticated? So, to the public knowledge of an authenticated Mars Attacks pack, there is none.
Okay.
I've been told that if one would authenticated Mars Attacks pack would hit open auction, it'd likely be 30,000 or more.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's given its insane rarity, that would make sense. Yeah.
And just that price point compared to just think like 66 Batman. Batman's popular, but you can buy a Batman pack for under $1,000.
Yeah.
Even any of that stuff I said, even like the Davy Crockett stuff, Elvis, you still compared to somebody selling you that a Mars Attacks pack would be over 30K.
Yeah.
Let alone a, who knows, a box or something. You start. I mean, I think that for unopened collectors would really blow off the stratosphere of a wow find if there was an authenticated Mars Attacks pack.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, and I agree with you on that because I wasn't 100% well versed, but yeah, I did know they were quite rare. Just didn't know it was that rare.
Even a wrapper, to go to the rarity, like a nice conditioned wrapper that came from a wax pack, I'm told is over $3,000.
Wow, that's crazy.
So
yeah, that's definitely the definition of Honus Wagner right there.
Yeah. That wouldn't have been what I would have. Like I said, I would have went towards a Sea Raider or something from the Gaudi era.
Yeah.
But just having talked to enough non-sport guys and hearing those numbers, I mean, that's just a number that catches your attention.
Well, not to plug your personal collection right now, but when we were just talking about this, I just couldn't help but think about that amazing rack pack that you showed during our live episode. And you want to talk about insane rarity. I've never, and I don't think I would ever see another one of those, and to be intact and have those cool little 3D glasses in the back. I'm not trying to tout on your PC, but that seems insanely rare.
So, and to go, you asked that question, 10 minutes ago. That astronaut set from 1963, I have a couple greatest cello packs as well. Mm-hmm. And I believe there were only 6 greatest cello packs. So that again shows, just a rarity of it. And then, the rack pack, according to Steve Hart, that's the only one he's, authenticated.
Yeah.
So, that's a true, rarity piece.
It's beautiful too. Yeah.
It is. And those glasses on the back, just the nostalgia, of the item. And you put yourself, I wasn't around in 63, but, we were just coming of age, the space age, and, trying to go to the moon. So you put yourself, in a little history of the set, and it's just, it's just a
Can't
great
seeing that
story.
in the store, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very, very true. No, awesome piece, Kurt. And again, I highly doubt we'll see one of those in the near future, but
No, I don't think so either. So
yeah, hold on to that one. So let me ask you this, Kurt. Let's talk a little bit about post 80s product. What's been the most challenging post 80s product for you to get your hands on right now?
It's also a popular one, and it's an issue that I don't particularly like at all. In fact, I really despise it. But it's a challenge because I try to offer product, to people, and that would be first series, garbage pail kids. The garbage pail kids is extremely popular. The later series, I've had plenty of opportunities, to get my hands on. But that first edition garbage pail kids is extremely popular.
Yeah.
And that's been a challenge. There's a couple other ones I can, direct it to, but that one is
top of the list, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, that was insanely popular when it came out. People were shredding that left and right. So to find an open version of first series has got to be tough.
Yeah.
So,
and if I'll say one other one, and this one kind of gets into some of the stuff that I like, but there's 89 Topps Batman, which is everywhere. There's also 89 O-Pee-Chee Batman, and that one is quite difficult to find. I was fortunate enough to purchase a sealed Series 1 case this year. There's a Series 2 I've never seen. I get asked a lot for 89 O-Pee-Chee Batman, and that's very tough to come by as well. Doesn't command nearly the price point that Series 1 garbage pail kids would. But that's an issue that is very tough to find.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the world of non-sports heading. Where do you think it's heading in the next couple of years? The future. I mean, it seems like it's heading in that same climb, if you will, as sports cards. What's your take on it right now?
I've thought for years, part of the reason why I've collected a lot of non-sport is because I thought it's been tremendously undervalued, especially to the degree that they didn't, make as many, there wasn't as mass produced as the sports cars issues. And now we've seen, a huge run up, and I think we're going to see a growing collector base. And I'm going to say the word again, but, just look at Star Wars, for example. With Disney owning Star Wars, that's a product that sells all kinds of modern, product in that. And when people gravitate towards those issues, but you can trace it back with popular culture as more people see the hobby. Not everybody is a sports, card collector, but they like to resonate with things that, maybe remind them when they were a kid, or now they have their own kids and they're, watching something. And I think we're just seeing the beginning of, some non-sports stuff really taking off in popularity. I think there's actually a much bigger, or I should maybe say potentially bigger, collector's base for non-sport product than there is for, say, baseball.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. That's your answer kind of cements kind of my thought process on this whole thing. I think that like we were alluding to earlier, the scarcity of this product, the outright popularity of some of these shows or some of these movies that the cards pertain to, the historical piece, especially with like a Star Wars, for instance, but even some of these other things that we've been talking about. You put that whole thing in the bag and shake it up. I mean, to me, it has nothing but upside.
I agree. And, there might not be per se, we look at, say, 85 Topps baseball. Well, the McGuire rookies, is 4 figures. Maybe, there's not a 85 Topps Rambo card that is worth a ton of money, or even a 83 Star Wars card that's worth a ton of money. But that doesn't mean that those products can't be more popular than the sports card release, and have more demand and more people wanting them. It doesn't necessarily have to be price point. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure you'll see price point on some of that stuff get to where, a sports card price point is, but I think the popularity can definitely get there and even surpass it.
Yeah. Very good point. So, I'm assuming in the world of non-sports, you've probably had a fair share of hobby finds. Do you want to share, what you would consider to be your favorite hobby find, and why was it your favorite?
Yep. We love talking hobby finds, and the one I'm going to tell you is due to rarity, and I can't give all the credit to myself. And really, I played a back seat on this, but a guy I know approached me a couple years ago, and he really didn't know what was in front of him, but knew I, bought and sold and collected packs, and he was buying some cards, but was approached with two old yellow, got a box here, yellow boxes, and didn't know what they were. I sent pictures, and so basically I was a consulting reference, for this guy. And what it ended up being was a pair of 1953 Bowman non-sport cello boxes.
Whoa.
One of the issues was, just like I showed the pack, you saw the TV and movie star cello pack I showed earlier from 1953. There was a full box of those. The other one was the one I have here is TV radio stars and Power and Peace. They were mixed in the cello boxes, or the cello packs, from 1953. So this was awesome. This was a find that it was not me, like I said, but somebody talked to me. I helped them make the purchase, and then I eventually purchased from him. But you're talking rarity. We're getting back to the 50s to find two unopened cello boxes. That there, to me, there was almost nothing that I've found or been a part of from the ground level that has got me more excited than these two 53 cello boxes.
That is cool, and not a shock. I've never seen anything like that before.
No, I didn't even know. I didn't know what they were when I saw the pictures, because the display boxes, you don't even see. So that was definitely very nice, and I thank the guy for thinking of me to help him make that purchase, and then eventually, of course, I was able to buy it from him.
Yeah, no, that's a great piece. That is awesome. So Kurt, let's like I always do, like we always do at this point, let's wrap things up with a couple of fun questions. Ready?
Let's do it.
I'm not going to ask if you're up for it, because if you say no, I don't know what I would do. Joking aside. So what's the one collectible that you sold that you miss the most right now?
I actually just was talking to a friend of mine, and I do not have a regret for selling it, because there were circumstances that warranted the sale. But I owned a 1962 baseball cello box. And for circumstances that I won't get into, I had to sell it. I'm perfectly fine with that decision of selling it, but obviously I tremendously missed that item.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome that you even owned it. And notice how I didn't phrase the question regret, because I think in the hobby, very little regrets, but there's stuff that we always miss. So
correct. And that's a great way. Everybody has things they miss, but yeah, there was no regrets on that thing, but definitely I missed that item.
That's a good one to miss. So last question for everybody. If you were in the middle of a bike ride, for those of you who don't know, Kurt rides a bike. He's a triathlete as well. So if you were in the middle of a bike ride and you stumbled across a yard sale that had boxes upon boxes of cards for sale, what would you do?
Wow. Wow. I think the honest way to answer this question is if this was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, I probably would have kept going. I would have been too in tune. I got Ironman race down the road. I can't screw it up, and I would have cringed and kept going. If it would have been in the last couple of years or now, I'm definitely pulling the bike off the road, walking it, down to the yard sale in my bike gear, and figuring out what I got to strap on my back to take home.
Backpack like up to like 10 feet high.
Strap on a 82 a Pac-Man case and let's ride the bike home.
What a sight. That was the answer I was expecting, by the way. Oh man, Kurt, great stuff as always. Thanks for sharing your knowledge in the world of non-sports. And as you can tell, there's a lot to talk about just within this world. So I could see some segmented, more in depth on certain product down the road. I'd love to talk to you more about it then. And for now, thank you so much for this 101. I really appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome. So it's always fun. So have a good one, David.
You too, buddy. Take care.
Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. Please click on the like and subscribe button. Just a couple quick updates. We are officially live on iTunes, Google, as well as Spotify for our podcast. Go to HobbyNetworkGroup.com for more details and links. Thanks for watching today's video and have a great day. Bye.